Hello there again, Facebook family. It's Chris, your favorite coach, your favorite host, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for any mealtime, let alone dinner. We're back here with another edition of Conversations with Chris, where Chris, has fun conversations with people that I respect. I think have a lot to offer in the field of business, in the field of, a lot of people in real estate. But we have today with us Sona Olson, who is a long laundry list of things, but most recently she's the state broker for Real Brokerage. If you're paying attention to what's happening in the world of real estate brokerage, I mean, they're certainly making a giant splash in the world of virtual brokerages. She's a state broker for the state of Wisconsin, and she runs a real estate team, and she's a 5-star mom,
and a dog owner and a cat owner.
Exactly, all these things. So help me welcome Sona. Yay, here she is.
Yay. Hi.
Thanks for joining us today. And there's a lot of stuff going on in there. We're just talking offline about, kind of how to manage all these things. And I think, real estate professionals are being more and more responsible for more things as things change, the client and customer experience, as well as being philanthropic we were talking about, and then kind of having now larger teams and spreading statewide and intrastate and interstate and managing all these things. So tell us a little bit about your journey that kind of in the real estate world that led you up to this point now where you kind of wearing all these hats.
Sure. So I've been practicing real estate for about 27 years now, which is why I have these bags under my eyes. I started in land development with my dad, and I've always had a very philanthropic bent. So for me, I'm a UW-Madison grad. I'm very education focused, and I'm community focused. And so I used my real estate career to help me move philanthropic passions of mine forward. And for me, with agents, one of my goals as a state broker is to find out what is driving agents personally to help them build. Maybe it's a better life for their family. Maybe it's working with vets. Maybe it's creating housing foundations. So education and ethics are a priority for me as a broker. I want my agents to practice their craft at a very high level. I want them to understand the contracts in and out and the implications of those contracts to the consumer. And I want them to be able to help those consumers live their dreams with what they're able to do, whether they're helping them invest in a home, biggest financial move that a lot of people make in their lives. First-time home buyers, helping first-time home buyers invest, or helping someone move on to the next state of their life if they have to move to care, or helping investors buy investment properties, or developers develop land. We are the architects of our communities, and we stitch that fabric together as real estate licensees. And I think that ethics and fair housing play huge roles in that. And those are my missions in all of my education with our agents at Real.
I just got bumped in the stream. I have big fingers, but you said a lot of things there that we could really hang on to. One of the things I love is when you talk about what drives agents personally. Because you're saying you personally got into this and it's always about something else. Well, usually, let me not say always. I hate saying words like always and never. It's always about. It's not just connected to having a great business, right? It's what it can do for our life, or kind of moving our own personal big whys forward, and what we're connecting it with. So you were saying for you, that was philanthropy, kind of, and what it could do, what impact could it have on the world, the community, and now you're kind of passing that down to your agents, focusing on kind of making sure they're highly trained, ethical, all that stuff, right?
Yep. And so that they can live their own dreams, whether those dreams are helping their own personal families, or helping just a client, or helping, create a housing foundation for themselves. And so understanding their craft at a really high level is important, because that enables them to leverage and build teams, or put together nonprofits, or have time to volunteer. And I'm not sure if you heard everything I was saying before the stream got interrupted, but as the broker, that's my goal, is to help agents build businesses worth having and lives worth living. And technology is important for that. Yeah. Our industry has changed quite a bit.
Well, that's a big question, right? So we got Brett pops in. He says, oh my God, it's Sona Olson, the most real person I know. Brett is watching. So, and we talk about technology, and I was sharing offline how I've got some clients that are really getting overwhelmed by technology, right? Where agents are like, oh my God, I need to incorporate this technology into my business, figure out how to use all this stuff. But then kind of switching gears and thinking, well, no, wait a second, that's not the right approach. It's not to let me learn all this stuff. It's how can this make me better at what I do? How can this give our customer or clients a better experience? And then figure out how the technology fits into our world, not forcing it in, right? So
Right.
what's I know you're every time we talk, you're like, oh, I'm getting better at the technology each day. So what have you found about the world of technology that we're in, and how is it improving client and customer experience? How's it making the life of a real estate agent easier? All those things.
So it enables us to help buyers and sellers, especially those who are coming from, we all live busy lives, right? We have kids, we have work, we have travel, we have all kinds of things going on. And that's true of our clients as well. And I think COVID helped open up the doors to this, but just something as simple as being able to show someone a home virtually, where they can make a decision from Florida that, yes, we want to spend the money on a ticket or drive and come up here and take a look at this building, or we might want to write off an offer on it subject to seeing this building. So now agents can use technology to do something as simple as walking through a home and showing someone a home remotely. And being able to learn technology for contracts. When I first got into the business, contracts were carbon copies, and you had to write on one side, tear the copy out, flip it over, and write on the other side. And if you didn't remember to do that, you were rewriting the entire contract again. So now we can do all of that remotely. And I think that also helps our buyers and sellers have better experiences, because the agent can take more time to just be there in person or online, like we are, having a real discussion before they send over this contract for everyone to sign off on suddenly. And they don't have to learn it while they're signing it. We can teach them ahead of time.
I mean, doing things electronically is, well, one of the things that's leveraged. I mean, I know my world, we don't realize how much time we actually spend traveling, how much time we actually spend going to even making a trip to the fax machine, back to the printer and back, and it's so funny. Once in a while we get, you have an attorney to say, hey, can you fax me that over? And I said, well, I don't have a fax machine because of where I live. And he said, well, where do you live? Well, 2021 is where I live. And because I'm not going to print out a piece of paper to put it in a machine and take a picture of it and then send it to you again, why don't we use Calendar or Pigeon? Just send a Pigeon with a little note around its neck. But it's helped so much, and there's a little bit of a learning curve. And I think we have to sell it to the agents first, because there's a lot of resistance. I mean, you're in a position of leadership, right? I mean, think of it like when you roll something out, it's like, oh my God, something else to learn, something else.
Yes.
But I think instead of dumping all this stuff on people, it's like it always has to come from that position of how is it going to make us better at what we do? How's this going to make the customer experience better? I mean, it's such a huge thing. I mean, so what's your favorite thing right now in the world of real estate technology? What are you really excited about?
So I like the platform that Real Broker is using for educating our agents. We have a knowledge library inside Workplace. It enables me to do video training. It enables me to upload doc training, have live screen sharing. And that's been really helpful, because then agents can, on the fly, take a look at something that they need help with if they can't find me right away, which in turn, they can help their consumer faster and better and correctly. The other thing, I guess, that I like about tech is this. I love being able to do this sort of live. And, back in the day, I mean, I went to college when we didn't even have typewriters. So, and, the agents are learning from my own stumbling around as the broker how to do tech, because a lot of them are better than me. Some of them are worse than me. I'm 54. I didn't even have cell phones. And I think the nice thing is we learn to leverage the technology in a way to give ourselves time off too, because that's important as well.
Yeah, it's well, some of us, it just makes us work more, and I think that kind of you got that. Well, I have this technological tool that can leverage me, and it's going to save me time, and I can either take that time and do more business and grind more, right? Or I could take that time and drink more margaritas. And I think it really starts from what's kind of like, what drives you? What's real important to you,
Right. What's your big why? Why are you doing this? Do you want to help the world? Do you just want to help yourself or your family? Or what do you want to do? It's up to you. And we have the technology and tools and skills to get you there.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's like, how many people do you come? So you're running the state right now. So this is an interesting question. I always ask people in leadership positions, how many people do you run into agents, other professionals that really are in touch with their why and their drive and what kind of motivates them, and how many of them are connected to that, kind of connected out between, this business I have, whatever business it might be, in this case, real estate, and really like what's their purpose on this planet.
I have run into, I would say in the last 27 years in this business, very few individuals when I was first in the business that actually understood their big why. It was just kind of a grind, and they were making money and not thinking about where they were going in 5 years. Now I think that conversation is much more open, and people are more willing to discuss it and what is motivating them. And they're actually willing to explore that. Some of that's just leadership training. Some of that's having the time, you have the tech now to give you the time in your life to actually stop and say, why am I doing this? What am I doing it for? Where am I going next? And so now I actually am running into quite a few people. Maybe that's just because I'm becoming more of a professional in my own career. And so I'm seeking out that mentoring group of people. But I would say that if I had to give a percentage, if you're asking me for a percentage of people who really know what their big why is, I would say probably 10% of the population really knows what their big why is, and the rest go through a midlife crisis.
Sometimes I think it could change too, right? And all of a sudden, people get into, for those who've been in real estate long enough, all of a sudden they're like got into real estate right at, they got kicked out of college, got into real estate because like, hey man, I can make a 6-figure income with no college degree, and I have no student loans. Woohoo! And I got all the time in the world, sky's the limit. Then all of a sudden, they have children, they get married, they start families, whatever. And then all of a sudden they find themselves 15 years later, and that why has changed, right? It's like, man, am I in the same position? I'm in the same, but hasn't my motivation changed? And I think we have to be sensitive to that too. It's not a lot of people are spending time, and I'm glad you mentioned like leadership training, right? Because not a lot of people are spending time on this. And how important do you think it is right now for the solo real estate practitioner to really develop themselves as a leader? And look, we come from a world, we were talking about this, where we come from a world where it's like, grow, get big, get huge, you owe it to the world to build a team and do. But then on the other side of that, there's people that are like, no, I just want to do 20 deals a year, right? And that's okay too. So, for all these people, even how important is like leadership development for people, because these are business owners, and how does it have an impact on their service?
It's huge. I think it's huge. I have a good friend who owns a brokerage here in town, and it's a small brokerage, and she's a phenomenal leader, and she's happy, and she's good with her agents, and she helps them build big lives. And I think it's important to step back sometimes when you get lost in the weeds, like you were saying earlier, and find a coach. Hire a coach, have more than one coach if you need to, have a life coach, have a real estate coach, just to discover what your big why is and to be a leader. I think we all owe that to each other as a community, to step up in whatever way we can, just to take that on. There is kind of like a social responsibility almost, you feel, and it's because we're even if we don't want to do something for ourselves, we almost have a social response. And it's funny because as a leader, right, sometimes like you see people, you're like, man, you've got potential. I remember I used to tell agents, oh, you've got potential. They're like, oh, thanks, chief. And I'm like, no, potential means you're not doing it. So it's like that means you're not doing it. So whereas people interpret that as, man, potential, it's such a great thing to have. And it's okay to not do something with your potential as long as you're aware of it and you discovered it and you said, yeah, I'm good, right? So I could be this and I don't want to be that, or I can do this and I don't want to do that, and that's okay. But I think so many people are kind of floundering around trying to follow other people's paths for themselves. And because if you don't design your own world, you'll definitely live into someone else's design. You might not always like what they have in store for you, right? So I think that's true. I think if you can help someone understand their potential and then allow them the space to either step into it or step into something else, that's all you can do as a leader. But, if you don't step up and live your life and understand what some of your dreams are, time will make decisions for you. It will move on and it will move past you.
Yeah. Listen, catch it when you're younger. Don't be 70 and be like, what life did I live?
That, and also just when you have that moment when you really feel who you want to be, step into it, do it. It doesn't matter if you're 79 or 10, do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. It's and there's too many, I think I think if any message someone could get from you is that's the most important thing, is just to kind of go through the process, to be into like, what is it that I really want for my life, and how can my business be a vehicle to kind of fuel that, and what kind of impact is it going to have out there? And it may be a big splash, it may be a little splash, but make it your splash, right?
Exactly.
Make it one that you're proud of. That's awesome. So we're 16 minutes in here. I know I told you 15 minutes. Is there anything that you absolutely want everybody to hear? Any last words? And by the way, Sona is very easy to get in contact with. She's on. You can catch her on Facebook. Just send her a message. You can post a comment or a question here, and I know she'd be happy to get back to you when she's in between all of her other roles that she's doing. But is there any parting words you have for anybody that's kind of watching this live on the replay?
Yeah, I think if you're a real estate agent now, look at models that are shaking up our industry. Our industry is shaking up, and it's important for you to have a successful and happy life and a career that fulfills you and serves your needs and your dreams. And it doesn't matter what that brokerage is, but take your time and really explore them, and then read Popular Science magazine, because it's a heads up to what's changing in our world. And I think it relates to lots of different industries. And, read it online. I don't know if they print it anymore.
I love that. So, and I got those things in here. So 2 words of advice for people in our industry, for real estate professionals, look at models that are shaking up the industry, that are in alignment of how you want to do business and support you in the way that you work and serves your needs, right? And of course, like she mentioned, reading Popular Science magazine. That's a big thing, right?
Different industries. Look at different.
I didn't think of that. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. Yeah. So, thank you for visiting with us today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy work week.
Thank you.
What day of the week is it? It is Monday, right? So
it's only Monday.
So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to Sona, and otherwise, then I'll talk to you on Thursday, right?
Tuesday. We are talking Tuesday.
Okay, no doubt. So that's right. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Thank you, Chris. Bye.